So today we're going to be doing a yoga fitness class, and what that entails is it's going to be both a mind-body exercise. I'm going to be playing acoustic music in the background. You're welcome to play any music that you want, but I will be playing that in the background. And yeah, we'll get started in just a minute. My name is Deegan, and this will be a 45-minute class. We'll start by sitting in a child's pose. So I'm going to be facing this way. And we're going to bring our knees just a tiny bit out and slowly laying it back. Keeping the forehead down. Taking this time to really connect to the breath. Breathing in and out of the nostrils. Really letting go of anything that isn't serving you right now, that is causing you stress or anxiety. And inhale the good energy. And exhale all the stress away. Continuing this breath cycle for a few more breaths as we get started. Really connecting to your own personal intention for your practice today. I offer the intention of letting go of stress, letting go of frustration or anger, whatever it may be, letting it go out of you. If you would like to deepen this child's pose, you can take that left foot out and extending it forward and sending the weight back to the heels. So my foot is just as if I were sitting in a straddle. One leg is out. Should see my toes. And sitting back in that child's pose. Again, this part is optional. Continuing that breath work here, breathing in and out of the nostrils. One more breath from this, and we're going to change the next position. Inhale. And exhale, bring it back to a normal child's pose. Taking one breath in normal child's pose. Inhale. And this time as you exhale, taking that right foot out and extending it. It's just a half, little wide-legged forward fold in this child's pose. So stretch out the legs to bring some movement into it. Again, this is optional. You can stay in your normal child's pose. Child's pose is your safety pose. You may use it whenever you would like throughout the class. Exhale, bring it back to a normal child's pose. Taking one more breath. Inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to take it to a tabletop position, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Inhale to lift that right arm up in the air. And as you exhale, we're going to sweep it through, threading the needle, bringing that left hand overhead and stretching it out here. Holding it in this position, I'm going to bring my laptop just a little bit down so that you can see me on the floor. Here we go, perfect. On the next inhale, we're going to bring that arm back up in the air. And exhale, sending it down into that tabletop position. Inhale, opposite arm comes up. And exhale, sweeping it through. Cheek goes down to the mat. Breathing here in and out of the nostrils. And then inhale, rising it back up, and comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing it back down. From here, we're going to bring ourselves into a cat and cow flow. As you exhale, dropping that belly low, gaze goes to the ceiling. And exhale to curve that spine into a C shape. Gaze goes to the belly button for cat. Taking this flow at your own breath pace. Warming up the body. Really squeezing the abdominals as you exhale and curve the spine. Stretching them as you inhale. Taking this at your own breath. 2 more. And then on that next exhale, we're going to hold it in that cat position. Gazes to the belly button, sending the feet towards the mat, and bring the bottom up. Gaze goes to the feet. From here, we're going to push into our hands and the palms and into the toes. From here, you can walk out the feet by shifting the weight. This is our downward dog position. And from here, if you would like to add a twist, as you exhale, taking that left hand, we're going to grab that right shin. Gaze underneath the shoulder. Inhale, taking it back to a normal downward dog. Exhale to switch the opposite hand to the opposite leg. Breathing here. And exhale back to downward dog. On the next inhale, we're going to bring ourselves into a plank position and then bringing our knees down into a modified plank. We're going to do a few chaturanga push-ups. So from here, we're going to take our elbows in towards the ribs, slowly lowering it down. And as you exhale, pushing it back up. Inhale, going down. Exhale to push it up. 2 more of these. Exhale, taking it down. Inhale, up. Last one. Taking it down. And then inhale, rising it back up. We're going to do one more, but this time we're going to lay it down. So as you exhale, going all the way down, elbows in towards the ribs, cheek comes down to the mat. Inhale for a mini cobra, a baby cobra, wiggling the fingers. Exhale, cheek to the mat. Now we're going to inhale for a full cobra, elbows are bent, gazes to the ceiling. Exhale down to the mat. Next inhale, we're going to take it all the way to an upward facing dog, taking the weight off of the thighs and into the toes and the palms only. Gazes to the ceiling. And then exhale, downward dog. That was our first vinyasa flow of the class. You're welcome to take any of those back bends, and you can do a modified plank or a normal plank. This time I will be doing a normal plank as we go down. Exhale, sending it all the way down to the mat. Inhale for your preferred back bend. And exhale, downward dog. From here, we're going to inhale to lift that left foot up in the air. And as you exhale, sweeping it through the hands, we're going to bring it to a low crescent lunge, sending that knee down. Inhale, arms come up for that low crescent lunge. You have an option to bring your hands down to kind of push that knee down, making sure that you can still see your toes. From here, as you exhale, we're going to do a reverse crescent lunge. So we're going to take that right hand and sending that left hand overhead, holding it here for a breath. Inhale. And exhale. As you inhale, rising it back up. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale, reverse. Taking a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale for one last time. Reverse crescent. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bringing it back to the top. From here, what we're going to do is bringing our hands down. We're going to take that right hand, bending that back knee. You can hold it here. You can add a little balance by bringing that arm in front of you. We're stretching the quads here. Breathing through the stretch. In and out of the nostrils. As you exhale, releasing that foot back down to the mat, and then sending that weight in towards the heel, going into a runner's lunge, a half split. So from here, we're going to bring it back to that crescent lunge, and as you exhale, sending it back to that half split. Taking this at your own breath. On your next inhale, we're gonna bring it back to that crescent lunge and step it forward into a forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows if you would like, swaying it side to side for ragdoll. And then exhale for a forward fold. From here, we're gonna step it back into a plank position. Like before, we're gonna do a vinyasa flow. So exhale, chaturanga down, elbows in towards the ribs. And then sending it up in an inhale to your back bend of your choice. Exhale, bringing it to downward dog. From here, we're gonna inhale to lift that right leg up in the air. And exhale to sweep it through the hands. Coming into that low lunge on the opposite side. Inhale, rising up to low crescent lunge. Exhale, we're gonna take that left hand and then bringing the right hand overhead for reverse crescent lunge. Breathing here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, sending it back up to a normal crescent lunge. Exhale, reverse. Stretching a little bit deeper each time. Inhale, bringing it up. And exhale, sending it back, reverse. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise. This time, exhale, bringing the hands down. You have that option for a bind here. So if you would like, taking that back foot, we're gonna grab it with our hand, our left hand, and bring that right hand up. If you would like, for an extra balance challenge. On your next exhale, we're gonna drop that foot down. We're gonna send it back into a half split, going back and forth here. Between that crescent lunge and the half split. A few more breaths here. And then we're gonna return to that forward fold. On your next inhale, bringing it back to that crescent lunge. Exhale for a forward fold. This time we're gonna inhale for a half lift, bringing your hands to your shin. Gaze is at a 45-degree angle. Exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands come up and over the head. As you exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We're gonna fold it forward once more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time stepping it back into that plank position. Optional vinyasa flow. You can always take a child's pose instead or a downward dog. And then sending it back to that downward dog. Beautiful. From here, we're going to inhale to lift that right foot up in the air. And as you exhale, we're going to sweep it through the hands, coming into a high crescent lunge this time. From here, we're going to do some crescent lunges. So we're just going to bring it down halfway, hovering over the mat, and exhale to rise. Inhale down, exhale, rise. Again, just hovering that mat. Again, making sure that you can see the toes still. On this next exhale, we're going to add some cactus arms, so squeezing the shoulder blades. Inhale, rise. Exhale to sink. Taking this at your own breath. On that next exhale, holding it down here in that lunge. We're going to pulse the arms in and out. So as you exhale, we're going to bring our arms in. Inhale, bringing it out. Opening and closing the arms, working the deltoids here, the shoulders. On your next exhale, bring your hands to heart center, dropping the hands down, stepping it back into a downward dog. You have the option to do a vinyasa flow. So as you inhale, bring it to plank. Exhale to chaturanga down. Inhale, preferred back bend. Exhale, downward dog. From here, we're going to bring the opposite leg up in the air, three-legged dog. Exhale, sending it through the hands for a crescent lunge, a high crescent lunge. Inhale to rise it up. making sure you can still see your toes. And then as you exhale, dropping that back knee to a hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale to fall. Taking this at your own breath pace. On the next exhale, holding it here. We're going to bring our hands down to cactus. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fall. Taking this at your own breath now. Really squeezing the shoulder blades together. Making sure that elbow's at a 90-degree angle. On your next exhale, holding it down. From here, we're going to bring those elbows in, working the deltoids. Exhale out, squeeze shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale, taking this at your own breath. Remembering that intention as it gets harder, keep breathing. Remembering to let go of everything that doesn't serve you. One more. And as you exhale, hands come to heart center, bringing the hands down to the mat, sending it back to a downward dog, optional vinyasa, and then we're going to take a quick water break. So sending it back to a child's pose, grabbing a sip of water if you need it, or just resting in that child's pose. Focusing ourselves back to our intention. Taking one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to meet back in that downward dog. Holding it here for a breath. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to bring our gaze to the top of our mat. And we're going to slightly hop forward, trying to not make a sound. This is going to be what I call a yoga burpee. As you exhale, we're going to jump it back to a downward dog. Exhale to bend the knees, gaze goes to the hands, jumping it forward. Make sure that you're not making a sound as you jump. As you exhale, sending it back one more time, downward dog. Exhale, bending the knees, gaze goes to the front, jumping up. This time, as you inhale, bringing yourself up to a forward fold. And exhale, sinking it down, letting the head hang heavy. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then just bringing it forward back to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sending it back into that plank. Exhale, sending it down, chaturanga. Again, you can always take a child's pose if you do not like these. There's always an option. And then from here, one more time, we're going to bend the knees, gaze goes to the top of our mat, hopping silently. Inhale, rising all the way up to a standing position, big shoulder roll here. From here, we're going to exhale, sinking it into a chair pose. Weight goes in the heels, having a nice flat back here, tucking the belly into the spine. From here, we're going to do some chair twists. So as you exhale, we're going to sink low. Our thumb knuckles are going to be into that little crevice right in between the breasts. Breathing here. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale to twist towards that right side. Bringing that elbow towards the thigh. Gaze goes to the ceiling, making sure one knee isn't sticking out in front of the other. On your next exhale, taking that left foot back to that twisted crescent lunge. If you'd like to open up here, you may by extending the arms out. And up to you, gazes to the ceiling. On your next inhale, we're going to twist all the way up. Gaze goes to the back of the hand. And then inhale, both arms come up for a crescent lunge. From here, as you exhale, we're going to bring it to airplane arms, squeezing the shoulder blades back. Inhale, rise. And exhale, sending it back, squeezing the shoulder blades. Taking this at your own breath. On the next exhale, bringing your hands down to the mat, sending it back this time to a downward dog. From here, as you exhale, we're gonna bend those knees and hop it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Hinging it forward, bringing it back to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Sending it back into a plank. Optional vinyasa here. Exhale, back for that downward dog. Inhale, we're gonna bring that left foot up in the air. Oopsies, sorry, totally lost my track. From here, we're gonna bend the knees, sending it forward on that inhale. Rising all the way back up into a standing position. Exhale, back to chair. Again, weights in the heels. Bringing our hands to heart center. From here, we're gonna twist towards that opposite side, bringing that elbow down, making sure that one knee isn't popped out in front of the other. On the next exhale, we're gonna step back with that right foot. Coming into a twisted lunge. As you inhale, we're gonna lift and extend the arms if you would like. On the next inhale, rising all the way up for a full twisted crescent. Gaze to the back of the hand. And then inhale, both hands come up towards the center, squaring the hips forward. From here, we're gonna do some airplane arms. As you exhale, bending it forward, squeezing the shoulder blades. Inhale to rise. Exhale to hover. Taking this at your own breath, your own flow. Two more. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, stepping it forward to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Sending it, hinging it forward. Hands come down. This time sending it back to a downward dog. From here, we're gonna inhale that right foot up in the air. Exhale to sweep it through the hands. And this time, we're gonna open up to a warrior two. So we're gonna take that back foot to a 90-degree angle, parallel to the back of your mat, and swinging the arms around. Gaze goes over the fingertips for warrior two. As you inhale, we're gonna bring that elbow down towards the thigh, stretching overhead for our extended side angle. You have an option for an oblique hover, so bringing the arm out. Inhale, back to warrior two. And exhale for reverse warrior. Your hand can either go behind the back or to the back of the hamstring. Taking this flow at your own breath. Keep breathing. In and out of the nostrils. One more. Inhale, rising it back up to warrior two. From here, we're gonna face towards the wall or whatever's behind you to a wide-legged forward fold. I'm gonna hop around so that you can see me a little bit better. From here, we're gonna inhale, bringing our arms up. As you exhale, we're gonna drop it into a goddess pose here. So getting low, making sure you have a flat back, belly button tucked into the spine. You can add a mantra of your choice for your hands. You can sway it side to side. And then on your next inhale, we're going to extend the legs and exhale, hinging it all the way forward, arms come out, sending it down into a wide-legged forward fold. From here, we're gonna open up towards that left side, so bringing that right palm out, and then opening up with the left. Adding a twist in this wide-legged forward fold. Trying to bring that gaze to the ceiling if you can. And exhale, back to that wide-legged forward fold. Switching the hands, extending the arm out. Gazes to the ceiling. Breathing through this twist. And exhale, back to that wide-legged forward fold. From here, we're going to shift the weight onto that right foot, sending it down into a lateral low lunge. You can have your hands at heart center if you would like. Then you can even bring it towards the opposite side. You can either walk it side to side or just get comfortable in one place and holding it. Trying to keep that chest up. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to go over. Taking one more on each side. They say that time's supposed to heal, but I ain't done much. And then inhale to rise back to that wide-legged forward fold. Sending it back into that warrior two position. I'm switching towards the side that I was on. As you exhale, hands come down, sending it back to a downward dog. From here, I'm gonna inhale to lift the opposite foot up in the air, and exhale to sweep it through the hands. Coming back to that warrior two, so setting that foot parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale to rise. Exhale to bring it to warrior two. From here, as you inhale, we're gonna bring that arm down, stretching overhead with the right. You have an option to do an oblique hover. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale for reverse warrior. Again, hand can either be behind the back or at the back of the hamstring. It's up to you. Taking this at your own breath, your own pace. Taking a few more. One more on each side. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happens? And inhale, bring it back to that warrior two. As you inhale, we're going to extend both those feet towards the front, making sure that they're parallel towards each other. You can even have your feet just a tiny bit outward, a 45-degree angle. We're going to inhale to rise, and as you exhale, we're going to bring it back to that goddess pose. This time you have an option to balance on both of your toes, or even just trying to balance on one at a time. It is up to you. Trying to get lower, keeping that belly and that back nice and flat. And exhale, releasing it all the way down, extending the legs for that wide-legged forward fold. From here, we're going to sway side to side this time. I'm going to check the time just to make sure. Perfect, we're on track. You guys are doing awesome. I'm so proud of you guys for coming out here today. I have about 6 minutes of hard work before we cool it down. And then inhale, bringing your hands back to center. From here, we're going to rise all the way back up. Warrior two. and then setting the hands down, sending it back into a plank. You have the option for a vinyasa flow. Back to downward dog. Move my mat just a little bit. It's creeping in towards the table. Don't want to get hurt. Awesome. From here, coming back into that downward dog. And as you inhale, we're going to walk our feet to our hands and slowly rise up. What we're going to do here is our tree pose. So as you exhale, we're going to shift the weight onto that left foot. We're going to bring that right foot forward and back, finding somewhere still to gaze at. And as you exhale, we're going to bring our foot either below the knee or above the knee. Again, finding that still space to gaze at. You can close the eyes if you want, or you can add some fun arm movements here. It can be a tree flowing in the wind. Or you can do a reverse prayer hands by bringing the palms of your hands together behind the back and opening up the shoulders. As you exhale, sending that foot down, switching to the opposite side, bringing that foot forward and back. Again, finding that drishti point, that place to gaze, to find your balance. And as you exhale, sending that foot either below the knee or above the knee, not on the knee. Hands going to heart center. You have an option to bring your hands swing side to side. And as you inhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Beautiful. If you'd like to take a reverse namaskar, reverse prayer hands, now's the time. And exhale, releasing it out, shaking it on out. From here, we're going to go into a yogi squat. So as you inhale, arms come up. And as you exhale, sending your toes just a little bit outward, we're going to send it all the way down to malasana or yogi squat. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to squat. We're going to take 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. From here, what we're going to be doing is inhaling all the way up. Exhale, bringing our feet together, returning to a downward dog. So in our downward dog, inhale to lift that left foot up in the air. And exhale to sweep it through the hands. Coming into a lizard lunge. So we want our hands to be just outside of the leg, sending that knee down. You have the option to bring your elbows down if you would like for a deeper hip stretch. We're beginning to cool it down just a little bit. On your next inhale, rising up. Exhale to walk your foot towards the opposite side. Coming into a pigeon pose, you want your shin to be just about parallel if you can. If you can't, add a little bit of a bend. And as you exhale, sending it all the way down. Holding it here. On the next exhale, we're going to bring it back up. If you'd like to add a mermaid pose, you can by bending that back knee, then extending that front arm. and reaching overhead. I don't have the full expression of mermaid, but if you'd like to go into it, you can. Or you could just hold this king pigeon pose. And exhale to bring that back foot back down to the mat. And on your inhale in one swoop, we're gonna send it back to a three-legged dog. Exhale to bend the knee. We're gonna draw some circles to open and close the hip here. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to lift opposite leg up in the air. And as you exhale, we're gonna sweep it through, bringing that foot around the hands and bringing that back knee down for lizard pose, sending the elbows down. On your next exhale, we're gonna walk that foot towards the opposite side of the mat, coming into pigeon pose. Again, trying to keep that shin as parallel as you can to the top of the mat, sending it down, elbows come down for our pigeon pose. They say that nothing is forever. Oh, what makes it love the exceptions? Oh, why are we so in denial when we know we're not happy? On your next inhale, we're gonna rise it back up. Exhale to bend that knee. You have the option to go into mermaid or stay up king pigeon. I don't have a mermaid, but again, you're gonna reach over to grab the foot. If you would like to go into that mermaid pose. And exhale to release. From here in one swoop on your inhale, we're gonna bring that leg up back to three-legged dog. And exhale to bend the knee to open and close the hip. Then sending it to a downward dog once more. From here, we're gonna take our last vinyasa float. So as you inhale, bringing it to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Then we're gonna meet into a seated position here. I'm gonna turn off the music because we're gonna be going into our Savasana pretty soon, and I want you guys to experience it in peace and quiet. So from here, what we're gonna do is bring our feet out in front of us, bending at the knees and laying it down slowly. From here, we're going to lift the hips up, so bringing the heels first towards the glutes, and as you inhale, rising your hips up. You have the option to take a bind underneath. This is our glute bridge, or yogi bridge, squeezing the abdominals here, and opening up the heart if you would like, and opening the shoulders if you would like with the bind. Trying to clasp the palms as tightly together as you can, and keeping those hips up. Exhale, release. We're gonna do that one more time. Inhale, rising all the way up. And exhale, releasing it down, releasing the bind. From here, if you would like, you can bring those feet up. You can take your two-piece fingers and rock it side to side for happy baby. And on your next inhale, dropping both of the feet down. Inhale to lift that left foot up in the air. And exhale, we're going into a supine twist. Arms come out to a T. Gaze is over the opposite shoulder, making sure that the shoulder blades are planted to the mat or the floor. You can extend that leg and try to grab the toe for a deeper IT band stretch. Again, it is up to you. Inhale to rise that leg up. Exhale to bring it down. Inhale, opposite leg comes up. And as you exhale, you're going to come into a supine twist. Again, gaze over the opposite shoulder. Trying to keep those shoulder blades pointed to the mat. Inhale to rise that leg up. Exhale to drop it down. On the next inhale, bringing those knees in, giving yourself a big hug, rocking your back out if you need to, squeezing everything that you've got. Then exhale, we're gonna release it all the way down. Eyes shut for 5 minutes of Savasana. Letting everything go. Emptying the tensions that you may be experiencing or the stress and anxiety. Releasing the jaw. Releasing each muscle one at a time. Sinking to the mat. Before we begin to make movement, I'm going to read you this quote. During a time of emptiness, let's marvel at all the love. Let it fill and sustain you. It isn't the end of the world. It is the most remarkable act of global solidarity we may ever witness. Beginning to deepen the breath. Making small movements like wiggling the fingers and the toes. Rolling out the wrists and the ankles. When you're ready, bring your hands over your head for a full body stretch. And then returning to your favorite side into fetal position. Letting the shoulder be your pillow. Keeping the eyes shut. On your next inhale, we're going to rise up to a seated position with our eyes closed. We'll bring our hands to heart center, rubbing the hands together to create heat. Then taking the palms over the eyelids, telling your eyes it is time to wake up. Open the eyes. Inhale, bringing the arms up and over the head for kind thoughts, the mouth for kind words, and the heart for kind intentions. Namaste means the light and love in me honors and respects the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for coming to virtual yoga fitness from 9:30 to 10:15. My name is Deegan, and I had so much fun doing yoga with you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me, and I hope that you have a lovely rest of your week. Thank you.